So we have mentioned in the previous video that the planning is an essential part of the IELTS writing task 2. In fact, we have seen how most of the students who fail or have lower grades in the IELTS writing task 2 is because they do not plan, they do not spend those 5-10 minutes planning their answer. And why does it happen? Most of the time students do not plan before start writing because they think they will save time in this way. However, it is exactly the opposite. Because if, for example, student A decide not to plan, they will start writing and then thinking and then correcting and then writing and then correcting again, going back to the beginning, and probably start all over again the test because they have lost their points and they have lost the track of the delivery. On the other hand, if we look at student B who decide to plan, they spend time planning and then they just write. So it's just 2 steps, very clear and very straightforward. So planning is also very important because you're doing 2 things at the same time if you decide not to plan, because you're both thinking and writing in a foreign language, so it's not your native language. So your brain is really focusing on too much. If you focus first on planning and then on writing, you can start just focusing on one thing at a time and making the most of each part of it. However, we're going to look also at how to optimize the time that we have and the planning. So we said we have 40 minutes, we would spend around 10 minutes planning, and then the 5 minutes of review at the end of the writing task 1, so we are left with around 25 minutes. 250 words essay is around 12 sentences long, so for each sentence you should spend around 2 minutes. So if you have 2 minutes to write a sentence that you have already planned in advance, you have all the attention and focus you need to make sure you do not make any mistakes and your sentence is written academically correctly, and grammarly also. The grammar is also great, and also the way you write is very clear and the examiner will be able to write your hand script. Be flexible with the timing and see what really works best for you. So the planning can be divided into 3 steps. The first one is the analysis of the delivery, so you can write a small mind map. And the second one is the idea generation, and we are looking at different ways that you can do this step. And the third one is the structure and the organization of the ideas. So for analyzing the delivery, I already spent an entire video talking how to look for micro topics, general topics, and the instructions. So you should follow those steps and you really get out what you're asked to write and have a clear goal to achieve. For the idea part, many teachers suggest to do a brainstorming. However, brainstorming can sometimes take us off the track, and we may spend so much time in it and not really get a lot out of it. So what I would suggest is to focus on the 5 W's, so the 5 questions: what, where, who, when, and why. And specifically the question why should help you to focus on how your answer and the sentence you're writing is related to the delivery and to the topic of your task 2. Let's look at an example. The case of the delivery related to the internet, we can ask ourselves these questions. Because social networks are effective means of communication and social connection, what are the advantages of having a social account? On the other hand, why does this excessive connection sometimes lead to feeling extremely isolating and atomized, fragmenting society and consciences as well? So this question can help us look at different point of view, reflect on causes and consequences for each question, and also create 1 or 2 relevant ideas that then we want to focus on in the main body. Very important, when we have the idea that we want to write in the main body, we know what we want to discuss. It's important to organize the structure, as I said before: introduction, main body with 2 paragraphs, and conclusion. So when I'm going to say what I've planned to say. This is very important, and it will give that coherence of the text and a general flow that will help the examinators understand your thesis and also will help you get a higher grade in the IELTS writing task 2.